You know what, folks? The glittering lights of Las Vegas may bedazzle the world, but beneath the surface, there's a gritty, shadowy side to this city that never sleeps. The lights here paint a different picture from the harsh reality that lurks in the shadows.
Welcome to Las Vegas, the secret capital of America, a sprawling 4-mile-long playground for the 7 deadly sins. You won't find any murders on the Strip, but the real action happens just beyond the state line. So, what is it that draws those running from the law to this desert oasis? In Vegas, nobody asks questions. You can blend in seamlessly with the sea of faces that stroll these streets. The criminal element thrives here, offering refuge to those in need. I've been to this city countless times, but I've never quite uncovered where the line between fantasy and reality blurs.
As I walk through the city, I can't help but feel a sense of unease. Can you feel it too?
The tension builds as a confrontation looms. The hero meets the villain, and it's a showdown waiting to explode. Put your hands up, come out right now.
What drives the people who call this place home? And what does Vegas do to their lives? Managing anger becomes an art form in a city where anything goes. But lately, you haven't heard about me attacking anyone or raising my voice. I guess I'm doing a pretty good job.
To the call girls who hit the big 4-0, how dangerous can it get? When one pimp snatches another's girl, bullets fly just like in the mafia.
Building a new life is difficult and takes time. The girls at Destiny House sign up for 12 months of seclusion and therapy.
For Lindsay, it's become home from home. Although memories of the past are never far away.
You know, I came out here in regards to meeting a pimp and things just really went from there. I really never really been to Vegas, so it was something new for me, and everybody hears about the Vegas stories, so I thought it would be good business out here and all those things.
So you would say you were partly enticed into prostitution? Oh, definitely, yeah. Since a young age, I started when I was 13, is when I first sold myself, if I guess you would call it. And then my first pimp actually, I was 18 and he was actually involved in the military, so he was in the military.
You know, I lived that life for such a long time, it's who I became. So now I have to get into the order of not living like that and not thinking like that. So you have those days when you feel so defeated, but you just have to pick yourself back up, knowing that, I've made it this far.
I've counted in my past 16 people I know that have died from sex trafficking. 16, including a couple pimps. Yes, even they die because they have territorial issues, and if one of the pimps steals another one's girl, they'll shoot them. I mean, they'll do a drive-by. That's just how it is. It's just like the mafia, as long as both sides profit. But he's also got a lot of money. No, I've been cooking for him regular L, and I travel with him. So that's a very nice photograph I was permitted to take with him. That's quite unusual. You normally aren't allowed to take a picture with him. He lives in Germany, in Munich, and whenever he comes with his friends and employees, I'm his German cook.
Being here, you have to agree to certain terms and conditions. You have to do the work, you have to undergo therapy. How difficult is that?
But I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you. Good luck, I hope you do it. I will.
Vegas is the ultimate sunny place for shady people. A city that grew from nothing by offering the forbidden. Knowing I have the blueprint on what to do once you get there and how you're going to survive that whole den of iniquity.
You packed an awesome punch. I wasn't bad. You now live very close to Las Vegas, all the glitz and the glamour and so on. Do you find it difficult to be so close and yet not to be part of that life?
I've been part of the life for a long part of my life, and it's just not my desire to be in that particular world anymore. Everything it is to do on the Strip. I don't believe in anything else I could do on the Strip that would be new.
So all in the past, what's an average day for Mike Tyson now?
Well, we live together, we work as a team pretty much, and we're doing good to be here, struggling and working and struggling.
Well, it's something I'm not accustomed to really being a part of, but this is just what it is now. It's just nothing about my life that matters anymore, but just doing what I have to do to take care of the kids, making sure my wife is not angry at
me. It's just this is just the life I live now.
Well, why would she get angry at you? I don't know, are you married?
I am? Then you don't know what it is that makes your wife angry, right? She's just angry about things that I don't realize I'm doing, I guess. I suppose what I'm asking is controlling anger a problem for you? I don't know, I get angry. I'm a human being, I can get angry. I'm sure all of us can. There's no one here that's not capable of doing that.
I suppose the important thing is being able as you get older to be able to control it. I guess I can. Well, you haven't heard about me attacking nobody, yelling and screaming at anybody lately, so I guess I'm doing a pretty good job. At least I hope I am. Yeah, but it was not always so. As a younger man, you showed some of that anger. Yeah, that's true. And to some extent, anger is a part of the whole boxing industry, isn't it? The whole boxing business. I don't know, maybe it was just, I'm not gonna blame boxing for that one. It was just me.
But do you think people still perceive you as the baddest man on the planet? I don't know how people perceive me. I look at it maybe, I don't know, from my story I'm what? I was a bad nigga that turned, that sort of light. Now he's doing the right thing, now he's not in trouble. And he didn't kill anybody, he didn't get killed. All that stuff that happened to him, he cleaned it up. And now he's trying to be a bright citizen in our society. But when you look back at your life now, it's a long, long way from what you did in Brownsville, isn't it? Yeah, it really is as long. I don't know sometimes, I wonder why this is true. Because when I go in, I happen to go visit some friends there that I know, and I look at the situation all gone.
It's been such a short time. It doesn't take long. John, was that fun? I'll pretend it was. I'll pretend it was fun. Only pretend. It was definitely losing money, so there's a small pain, but I didn't bring $2,000, so I figured I'm up $1,700. It is a strange way to look at it, but at least John keeps his car. Nothing is more 21st century than Las Vegas, and nothing is older than the way some of its residents earn their living.
Breaking news: a man and a woman are accused of running brothels out of 2 homes. A 38-year-old Las Vegas man will spend the rest of his life in prison. He was convicted of battery with a deadly weapon and living off the earnings of a prostitute. It's a lifestyle that usually begins early and always ages them quickly. The working girls in this city have been here for as long as the railroad. They were part of the original business plan. Today, Las Vegas is the prostitution capital of America. That is correct, that for some reason is a little bit of a myth. It's never been legal, and it seems to me that those who manage these women also think that Las Vegas is the place in which they could do it and probably do it with impunity.
To me, it's one of the most vile criminals that exists, and it's a very sought-after arrest, but they are very, very, very difficult to arrest and convict, and the reason behind that is because their victims are the girls, the prostitutes. They're often very reluctant to pursue the charges, and without that, we have a very difficult time getting anything to stick on these people. And they're very hidden, too. They're not out in the open, and a lot of them are smart. They're smart enough to avoid police and to do things to keep heat off of them. That must be a very difficult problem, because by the very nature, what you say translates itself into human trafficking, slavery. There's also a lot of violence involved, isn't there? They will hurt these girls. That's very, very common, that they're ruled by violence and fear. That's absolutely common.
Violence and fear. For thousands of working girls, that is what lurks behind the glitz and the promise of Las Vegas. Just as Annie had described it to me at the safe house. And he starts to beat me, shove my face into the cement, and break my nose in several places, my ribs, kicking my ribs. The whole time he's yelling at me, "This is Pimpin' B, you're gonna be my slave. This is how it is from now on."
I'm about to confront one of the most successful pimps in Vegas. We meet at the location of his choosing, off the strip, away from his usual places of business. I knew almost nothing about him, neither his telephone number nor his name. We meet for just an hour in a bedroom in a pink motel.
How would you describe what you do? How I would describe it personally is I'm in the entertainment business. How others describe it is prostitution and pimping. I don't look at it that way. How do you source the women you work with? What do you mean by source? How do you find them? Believe it or not, they find you sometimes. They know what they're looking for, like the ones that I would deal with. They know what they're looking for. You may.
There's a man on the run. His pursuers are armed and much to my surprise, he's got a lot of things to eat. And these are the things that are important when you're on the run. Because if anybody knows about being on the run, you know that it's probably the most stressful thing you'll ever go through in your life. Times any problem, Trevor, that you ever had in your life, times it by 10,000 and that's a day on the run, a day. Was this a relief when they finally caught you? Basically, yes, it was a relief. At the time, I was burned out. And what I mean by that is, I had 14 months on the run, I had law enforcement looking for me, I had few crime families looking for me, and the stress level of my life was really at its apex. And what happened was, when they finally did catch up with me, I remember coming out of my house and I seen a van screeching down the block, I see another car coming, I seen two guys running down my driveway, and my first instinct was that I'm dead, that I'm getting clipped. But meanwhile, I seen the badge come out and the guy said, FBI, and I threw my hands in the air and I said, FBI, you guys, I can handle. And it was a relief because I finally knew that I'm gonna get my first night of rest in 14 months. And into those shadows is where I'm heading next. This is a used car lot in Las Vegas, not very different from any other. But take a closer look at one of the dealers. It's someone I've met before. He's Andrew DiDonato. How many miles on this? 180. Okay. Would anyone buy a used car? From a former member of the mall. Alright, so listen, I'd give you the Range Rover. You give me the Mercedes and give me $7,000. Andrew was once a member of one of the biggest crime families in New York. He was done for attempted murder, burglary, drug dealing, and extortion. The kind of record that could have kept him behind bars for life. But Andrew talked and turned state witness. Ever since then, he's been a marked man. He felt too conspicuous in New York and knew that with his connections in Las Vegas, if he kept his head down, he could pass virtually unnoticed. Andrew, do the math. Do you have a presence here in Las Vegas? Oh yeah, they still do. Not the biggest presence that they did years ago, but there was definitely organized crime members walking around in this town. I've seen plenty of guys that I knew from the street while I've been out here. And, you know, guys come out here for all different types of reasons. There's guys who bought homes out here many years ago.
There were guys who came out here to reinvent themselves where, they did something wrong in New York. They came out here to, stay out of the line of fire. When the mobsters were running this town, how different was it from what it is today? Well, when the mob was running this town, back in the day, it was more personable. They knew your name when you came to a casino. They knew, what your favorite drink was. They knew the things that you like to do or show you like to go to. You could walk into a casino, lose all your money. They would give you an airplane fare to get home. And the people that you love, the world is very small. And I knew that I was, fighting a battle that I couldn't win. So I finally made a decision to cooperate with the government. Something that I was born to be against my whole life. I was born to hate the government, but I knew this was the only chance that I would have to live a normal life and be alive. There's almost a pleasant sound to the words witness protection program. They rock you to sleep with that. But basically what it is it's what you make of it. It's like anything else. People think that, the government just, gives you money and, and makes sure that you're, taken care of. What they'll do is they'll put you in a safe place. They'll keep your family safe, but it's up to you to go out and get a job. It's up to you to go and make a life for yourself. Sticking to those lines of the new identity, though, throughout your time in the program must be terribly difficult.
It is very difficult because there are times, Trevor, where you want to just be you. You just want to be able to just let it out. Sit there and talk to somebody like I'm talking to you right now, and just talk about old times. Talk about the old neighborhood, things that I miss, maybe some of the things that I did. When you sit there and you keep it bottled in every day, you need a release. You need something. How close did you ever come to having your real identity discovered? Oh, without a doubt, it definitely did. I mean, there's been a few times where, I was in a restaurant or I was in a different location, and I seen guys that I knew from the neighborhood, say 15, 20 years ago. And it's so funny because they all have the same reaction when they see me. They see me, they double take, they look back, they slowly start to gravitate towards me, and then they all do the same thing. You look great. My God, I can't believe it. It's been so many years. I want you to know, it's none of my business would happen. I wish you all the best in the world. But I also know that when they walk away from me, whoever they're with, they're singing a different tune than when they see me. But that's very difficult, isn't it? Because you might think when they walk away from you, they might pick up the phone to someone. I expect them to pick up the phone, but here's the thing, Trevor, if I live in fear, and I don't live my life accordingly, then they still control me. I can never let them control me ever again. They control me my whole life. Andrew knows he'll never be able to entirely wash away the stains of his past. He knows there'll always be a killer seeking revenge. And there'll always be a Nevada law that bans convicted mobsters from selling cars. So to work as a car salesman, Andrew must cross the state border if he's to make a living. It all amounts to the fact that he'll never be alive. And to forget what he once did. My time was almost up in this city of conflicting emotions. There's excitement and wonder in this dazzling neon jungle. But there's danger too. And I discovered why Las Vegas has such a profound effect on the lives of so many people. Just being here can give you a place in its history. Living in Las Vegas, you can look out over that strip and all the memories come back. Vegas gave Lisa Medford the chance to be a glamorous showgirl, and perhaps the romance of a lifetime. I dated him for almost 2 years. And Cary Grant wanted a child. And I didn't want children, even with Cary Grant. They only know me from what I do now for a living. So your friends know nothing about Andrew's former life? No, absolutely not. If that's not something that we could go, that's something that I can divulge, or share with somebody, I can't go sit and have a cocktail with one of my friends and say, hey, guess what? Do you know that he used to be affiliated with the mom? I mean, they have kids, and I understand that from their standpoint too. They have children. We don't want to destroy relationships. I have a child, and if she was on the other foot, I would be concerned too as a parent. I would really think twice on allowing my child to go with for certain activities or whatever it is, knowing his background, and nothing against him, and he knows that. But if I do have functions with the kids or whatever, it's a double-edged sword. I usually do it alone. I won't, because I won't put somebody at risk. Andrew, given the realities of this place, Las Vegas, would you ever be able to make a living here? Making a living here is very hard, Trevor. It is very hard. I gotta be honest with you. It's geared to failure for a guy like me. See, because if you have criminal record out here, especially me with an organized crime past, they will hold that over your head. I couldn't get a license here to sell automobiles. That's why I go to other states to sell automobiles, because here they wouldn't give me a license to do so. So eventually you'll have to move. There's no question that I will leave here. I have some good opportunities with people I really care about and who are in the car business, and I will go see them very shortly. And hopefully I can make a life in that location. Your reaction to that, Danielle? I go where he goes, so we'll be, there you go. Fantastic. For however short a time, Las Vegas exerts a hold on people perhaps like no other city. It's gaudy, superficial, and brash, even brutal. But it's also enthralling. It shines with glamour and excitement. Las Vegas overwhelms the senses, and its promise never lets you go.
We hope you enjoy our talkradio.ca broadcasts. We are a not-for-profit service providing up-to-date news in an unbiased journalistic fashion. Please subscribe and like to make sure we reach our audience. You might want to play an entire playlist, produced each day on our best content. These stories are ideal on long road trips or as a daily current events update during morning coffee. Enjoy!